Hello, fellow haters of the automated machine uprising. Let's talk about how clankers are making mashed up PNGs and how, in reality, it's never going to fully replace human-made media in the slightest, and how Twitter users are fear-mongering about it and falling for obvious rage bait.
Clanker.
Generative AI, the newest thing making a dime a dozen artists on the internet have panic attacks, going paragraph-long speeches about how it's going to replace them in the corporate job scene, or if anybody uses it ironically or not, should be skinned alive and have salt poured on them like a scene from Terrifier. Well, just like the NFT video I did long ago, I'm deciding to take a crack at this schism again, because I'm gonna be real, some of y'all piss yourselves way too much about this robot generative AI slop, way too much. Like, to the point of obsessive hatred when people just use it to fuck around, not do anything too serious, because heavens forbid someone shitpost.
Quit having fun!
So let's get this out of the way first. Let's talk about people using this for memes and shitposting, because, well, it's the most prevalent thing I've seen of this. Like, really prevalent. So prevalent I can't avoid it. It's everywhere. And what do you expect from memes and shitpost? It's comedy, it's either hit or miss.
Magic mim.
Well, you're either going to get someone using AI to sound like a character for a skit, like these Star Wars figure skits I've been seeing pop up in my feed lately.
What's so urgent that you have to delete your history right now?
Crush my cock.
Something along the likes of those repetitive Sonic Adventure brain rot posts that would basically all have the same setup.
Bimbos.
And then you get unsavable garbage like Italian brain rot creatures. It's another meme that's funny for about a week, and then it gets milked by people for quick views and becomes the poster boy of content farms and the most unfunny shit you ever seen because Render's stomping into the ground.
Kill me.
And then it gets a Friday Night fucking mod because of course this slop it needs to. The only reason people keep posting this trash is because saying shit like brr brr pata beam or dun 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 sarun. It's wildly funny to say, and it's a fucking earworm. It gets stuck in your head all day, and it's bouncing around there, driving you fucking nuts. So yeah, I'm not really that big of a fan of Italian brain rot, and I think it's a garbage meme, but in the end of the day, it's just another dumb shitpost that's gonna fly by and be forgotten about in about like a year.
Garbage.
And mainly that's what I've been seeing people using AI for, goofing around and mostly not being a lot serious. And the other part I gotta talk about is the unironic use of AI. You know, people unironically using it for art. When in reality it's using a bunch of other media sources for the whole vast of the internet, as well as other human artists, basing its whole generation off existing media made by man. So in a nutshell, it's copying your homework and changing it a little bit, and for a bunch of other people too. Now, this is where the whole controversy starts off. The programs that are making all these images and videos aren't really making their own art, but taking it from images that already exist and making a Frankenstein's monster out of them all. Deeming it not real art. It's lazy, it's soulless, and first and foremost, it's uncreative. The only real effort that was put into these was a dude typing down some text and waiting to see what ChatGPT or Grok plopped out. I could easily do it myself. You know what? Watch. You see my point? Here, look how much I had to do to just make this thing come into existence. I just type a few words and make this generic piece of junk. Now, at a surface level it looks alright, but then you just take a closer look and you can just tell something is off. It just feels like the program grabbed a bunch of examples, blend them all together, and up the contrast like an e-girl taking a selfie on Instagram, or in this case, a really bad Fallout 4 lighting mod. Look at this thing, look at the helmet, the eyes are warped, deformed even. It's the mixed race baby of the XO1 and the Black Bear Elite armor from Fallout 76.
Cringe!
Even when the company of Coca-Cola did it for the Christmas of 2024, it just felt like a bunch of light examples of existing themes turned into little 5-second clips all mashed together into a hollow, empty mess.
Where's the love?
Where's the coke?
It's just a bunch of loosely stapled together things relating to a soda company and Christmas. There's no major input here. This whole thing is just nothing but peak corpo garbage. And this is why we stand Pepsi on this channel. Pepsi! A lot of AI media suffers from this bits and pieces thing. When it doesn't have a whole paragraph to go off from, it easily falls apart and becomes a mess trying to desperately put itself back together. Funnily enough, the only time I ever seen dudes use the power of generative AI decently is when they're trying to replicate a famous voice actor's voice for a funny skit or even animation. Like that fan-made Five Nights at Freddy's Scooby-Doo crossover animation that was made to look like an old Rankin Bass stop-motion special, and, well, the creator got into a schism because of it.
Why didn't you hire more indie voice impressionists first? I'm gonna call a real voice actor on you. I'm gonna blacklist him for the industry. I'm helping the fight against AI by ruining a person's life.
This was the most gayest thing the anti-AI fags have done. Oh, heavens forbid that a person that replicated an old stop-motion aesthetic in Blender use a crutch and have one guy voice act for what he thought was going to be a shitpost at the time, and he didn't even have money to hire voice actors, but
He didn't spend $200 on a shitty voice actor funny guy from Twitter that dubs memes.
What a fucking disappointment.
I know that voice replicating is a part of the whole AI controversy, and I'm not mocking this certain issue to make the concerns of it any lesser. I'm mocking this certain case because it was completely harmless. You see, with the power of voice AI, you can make anyone say anything. You can make characters sing "I'm Still Standing" by Elton John.
You can never know what it's like.
Make SpongeBob say something really offensive, or frame people for crimes they didn't commit, or even cover war crimes with minions.
That's disgusting.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg, because the whole minion AI filter fiasco was a thing of its own that the FBI had to get involved in.
Sex with children.
But yeah, back on topic with the whole voice AI thing. I'm gonna be real, you have to be an idiot to fall for that stuff. Most of the time you can tell it's AI because it's just so monotone with its performance, and if it goes high-pitched enough, it glitches out and breaks like it's having a stroke.
Hey, everybody, get the news, get around about a guy named Butcher Pete. The old beam just blew into the town and he's chopping up all the women's meat.
Also, speech patterns are a thing, and vocal tones as well. I get the concern, alright? I mean, I'm not innocent of this sin either. I've used said crutch in my Minecraft movie review to make my voice sound like a roboticized version of Jack Black when I made a point about the movie's main villain.
Hey, Malgosha.
But what about replacing voice actors in the film industry, Silver? What about people who can do impressions of characters well, only not to get hired because of some robot program? Darth Vader, Fortnite AI?
Invincible.
1. There's already a bunch of people getting up in arms about the use of AI replacing voice actors. SAG-AFTRA is happening for a reason.
Whoops.
And let's be real, all that AI voice synthesizers can do right now is still monotone performances. And you can still hear that mechanical drone in their voices sometimes. No real emotions are being put into these, and when they try to emote, it just sounds weird and kind of fruity.
Oh my god.
And 2, this is about the whole Vader thing. James Earl Jones, Vader's voice actor, permitted Disney to use his voice so that it would preserve his performance, and not to suck off the giant corporate media empire that owns 40% of the industry, because of course, the mouse is evil and soulless, but hey, the actor consented to this. I mean, you can't really complain for his sake, because before he passed away, well, he agreed to it, and now the House of Mouse can milk his performance until the end of time. This is like some cyberpunk level shit when you think about it, but instead of copying a dude's whole personality and putting it onto a chip, it's just a dude's voice. And then you give it to a bunch of zoomers so they can ask it dumb questions and make it say slurs. This is the future, people.
Bags.
And now I gotta loop back around to the whole AI art thing, because it wouldn't be a Silver video without me going on to the other side of the argument and pointing out what problems they got too. Static! Okay, art fags, listen closely. If you think that any art website or social media is going to keep your art safe from the machines, you are 100% and fully wrong. You want to know why? It's going to find its way into Google Images somehow, and while not directly going to AI, it's going to be used for reference by programmers or even the programs themselves using these external resources to fuel their knowledge. I mean, where do you think all these programs get their references from? It's not thin air, I'll tell you what. All those Studio Ghibli-styled eyesores you've been seeing lately, they gotta come from somewhere. This also comes down to the worst fact about art as a whole, because I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but in technicality, AI art is still considered art, no matter how mad it makes you and all of Twitter.
No! You cannot say that!
Look, I hate to be evil here and side with the machines, but since a bunch of AI art programs take from existing sources and blend them up, someone can make the argument that it's transformative art. Blah blah blah, fair use, blah blah blah, a bunch of legal bullcrap. And if you were a tiny Twitter artist and tried to bring this as a court case, the judge would not just laugh at you, but the whole crowd, because in reality, nobody cares. Just like NFTs is another form of pretentious art, but instead of being made by a bunch of nepo babies or pretentious artists for a get-rich-quick scheme off crypto, it's being made by typing in a few words into a prompt program coded by a bunch of nerds. Yes, it's lazy. Yes, it's soulless. But most of all, it's directionless and all over the place. And at least to the people who made NFTs, some people actually sat down or paid people to sat down to draw assets for their little crypto creatures or whatever. At least give the Bored Apes that. At least give the Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff that.
Oh god, I'm cooked.
When I see people try to make stuff with generative AI, it only looks good for about like a couple of minutes and then switches to another clip of something vaguely similar to what was shown earlier. It just can't be consistent for long periods of time. The one prime example I've seen of anybody using AI to make something original is a channel that goes by the name of NeuralViz. Probably the only channel out there I've ever seen to make something good with AI tech. And that's because the guy that makes this slop knows how to write funny characters, settings, and I don't know, probably use a face rig and saves images so it doesn't implode into an AI mess.
Hello?
I even saw a list of tools that this guy uses, and also himself admitting that, yeah, he uses AI to make this stuff.
Quite the sight.
His main series is a parody of those Discovery Channel shows like Agent Aliens called Unanswered Oddities. It takes place in some post-humanity world where these things called Glurins discover old bits of human culture and try to replicate it, along with having theories of their own of why we did these things. I've watched some of their videos, and honestly, it's some pretty funny stuff, but then again, it's mostly because of the comedic writing a human did and not some ChatGPT script. That's probably the reason I can remember this guy's name. This right here is Tiggy fucking Skibbles, aka Alex Jones if he was a bum and a frog.
They are putting plants in our food.
But notice how I said the reason why NeuralViz is so memorable is that a human is writing the dialogue for these PNGs, not some machine. A lot of their videos still suffer from a bunch of generated AI clips being mashed together syndrome, but this time a person is putting more effort into it to make it look more consistent rather than a program doing the whole process. I don't know, maybe they have a ton of generated images saved to their computer so things don't lose focus, because out of all the AI slop out there, NeuralViz is the only one putting any creative effort into it. And I mean the only one to actually try. We don't count Angel Engine and its mishmash art styles in this house. Get the analog horror garbage out of here and right next to Walton Files.
Horror content made by and for edgy teenagers.
So yeah, AI is becoming more well-known and prevalent, but let's be real. Even with all the advancements it's made over the years, it still suffers from the problems that plagued its earlier models.
Some people say we're just AI created via some simple prompts. Thoughts?
If I'm just a prompt, mine clearly said, add anxiety and a caffeine addiction.
Disappointment.
And the only time it's been well used is, well, when it's a crutch for people, a shortcut. In the end, still making something that needs human effort and creativity to be made, like AI voice synths in some cases, and what I showed earlier with NeuralViz in his videos.
None of this is real.
I don't think AI can fully replace human-made media, no matter how much you're scared that the corpos are going to use it to fully replace industry jobs, because, let's be real, it's a gimmick, a fad even, mostly being used to shitpost. Oh, let me guess. You watched that industry plant Adam Canover's saving animation shorts and think that the big suits are going to replace you with something that can't even animate past 5 seconds before melting.
Stupid.
A long time ago, people said that movies and cinema were going to replace theater plays, and now look where we are today. Broadway's still a thing, plays are still being performed to this very day, some being adaptations of movies, so do you know what that means? People are still gonna want human-made media, like how people go out of their way to still buy things that are handmade over factory-made garbage. If you really believe a bunch of programs are going to replace humanity and human-made media, I'm sorry to tell you this, but Grok, put an Israeli flag in this guy's art.
Jew.
Jew.
Stupid Jew.
Jews.
Fucking Jew.
Alright, I'm gonna start ending this video now, and I could go on some gay speech about how we're on the dawn of some dystopian cyberpunk future and whatever, but that would defeat the point of this video. You're not going to get replaced by a program because humanity gives the program direction. It's just another fad that will be memed on, used for memetics, and to troll people who take it way too seriously, i.e. Twitter artists that are the levels of PuppyChan. Anyways, I've run out of things to rant about, so I'm just going to end it here before it gets too repetitive. If you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. If you hate this video, leave a dislike. I've been SF1232 and bite my shiny metal ass! Also, if you like Hatsune Miku and hate AI, you do not have an opinion.
Next time on Silver Puff 1232.
Me and a couple of friends have been working on this Fallout comic idea for a while now, but don't expect it to come out soon.
This page needs a father.
What a sick joke!